To discuss this, I'm joined by Georgios Karatsiobanis from Brussels. He's a member of the European Policy Department of Syriza. And from Copenhagen, economist Lars Christensen. He's the founder of Markets and Money Advisory, and he's a senior fellow at the Adam Smith Institute. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Georgios, let me start with you. New York Times op-ed, the Greek bomb in the EU's foundations. The Guardian had a feature, from bad to worse, Greece hurtles towards a final reckoning, even worse. That sounds apocalyptic, Georgios. Is it true?
Well, we believe that since 2010, this is the first year that the Greek economy is coming into a recovery period. The economic figures are positive after several years of recession, and we have signs of growth in the economy, of better conditions and better figures in the unemployment rates, and figures that are positive for Greece at the moment.
Okay,
better than before.
Okay, so Lars, what's the Eurozone's problem then? Because Georgios is saying they're doing well. These measures are working. Why is the Eurozone saying no more debt relief?
Well, you know, it is correct that the Greek economy is showing some signs of recovery, but we had negative quarter-to-quarter growth in Greece in the fourth quarter of last year. This is not a booming economy, but anyway, my real worry is that when the ECB at some point in the next 1 to 2 years start to tighten monetary policy because Germany needs it, or the Netherlands needs it, or France needs it, Greece is very far from having recovered and will be sent down back to recession quite soon again, and then we're in trouble again. I wouldn't be as alarmist as some, but to me, Greece simply isn't the same way in terms of the economic cycle as the Northern European countries, and therefore this is simply a country that do not fit into the euro.
Georgios, might it be that the people at this moment in time, if they were given the choice, they'd want a Grexit?
Well, this is not an option either for the population or the government, the Greek government. The Grexit scenario that is being put forward by the German finance minister, Mr. Schäuble, and others, is a scenario similar to the Swedish incident as put by Donald Trump yesterday. It does not exist from the Greek side. It will harm the Greek side, but it will harm also the European Union. It is not a scenario for us, and we believe that it's dangerous to have this discussion from the moment it is not on the table.
Georgios, talking about the German finance minister, Mr. Schäuble, he said anyone who now speaks about debt relief for Greece does not strengthen those who want reforms. What do you think is his problem with you and for those who are saying that Greece needs more debt relief?
Well, I think it's not just a leftist party in one of the corners of Europe. It has been wider support towards the Greek government. From one side, recognizing the improvements and the sacrifices that we have done in the last years. And from the other side, it's quite clear that at this moment, we don't have the luxury of recreating a Greek drama, if we can call it like this, when all around us we have in the European Union several other big major issues, such as Brexit, the situation in the Middle East, and so on. And it's not a moment and a momentum to reopen such a discussion.
Georgios, come July, will you be able to pay your debts?
Well, we are optimists that already from today's Eurogroup meeting, there will be a first political agreement that could help in the coming weeks in the staff level agreement between the Greek side and the institutions to go forward and to have finally a conclusion of the second program review.
Lars, does that sound like a politician trying to sound optimistic and be diplomatic, or does it sound like true optimism that you can agree with?
Well, I do actually agree. First of all, I do think that we need to take steps to remove some pressure from public finances in Greece. I think the IMF position that is more right than the EU position, meaning that we need less austerity in the present situation. The problem is, of course, that we cannot continue a situation to transfer taxpayer money from Germany, the Netherlands, and from other countries to Greece forever, and that is a very hard discussion. In my view, we need both debt restructuring, a significant write-down on debt of Greek debt, and a euro exit. But I think it's something that needs to be addressed. Instead of we have these things where we go 1 year, 2 years, and then we are back to the same discussions again. The fundamental problem is that we have a European currency union. Which is not optimal. Greece, Slovakia, Finland, the Netherlands and Germany in the same currency union, it simply does not work.
Okay, so Yorgos, why don't you address it?
Well, we recognize that from one side the architecture of the monetary union has been done very badly since the beginning. From the other side, it's clear for us that this opening of the chapter Grexit is harmful both for Greece and the European Union, and we believe that this is only a scenario being put forward, at least in the Greek parliament, by the neo-Nazi gang of Golden Dawn and some other people that support the policy that drives the policy of Mr. Schäuble and is being supported by some other forces in the Greek parliament. We believe that at European level it's not an option either for Greece, either for Europe, and we don't need to recreate problems that already had been solved in the past.
Okay, so let's
we need a Europe of solidarity. We should remember
good point,
the principles of solidarity in Europe.
So let's pose that to Lars. Lars, it's only the neo-Nazis of Golden Dawn who are pushing for this, and in a year, when there's elections in countries where the far right are resurgent, in Germany and in the Netherlands and in France and elsewhere, why do you want to open up this can of worms, Lars?
No, I completely agree. I'm deeply worried about right-wing extremism gaining ground across Europe, whether it's Le Pen in France or indeed what in my view is a horrible political party, Golden Dawn in Greece. The problem is, of course, that these forces are gaining ground exactly because the euro is not working, because we do not have any growth in parts of southern Europe and most particularly in Greece.
Yorgos, looking at the timeline of Syriza's and the coalition's time in office, 2 years in office, looking at those austerity measures, slashing public sector salaries and pensions, cutting services, agreeing to massive privatization and so on, raising taxes. How much of a betrayal to your base and those on the left has this been, that it took this left-wing government to do all of this over the past 2 years?
I think that this has been evaluated already by the Greek people a year ago, when we had, after the agreement that we signed in July 2015, we had to go to new elections, to anticipated elections, and the support of the population was clear, and even higher support for Syriza. At this moment, we know that the next parliamentary elections will be in 2019. The support towards the measures and the reforms that have already been implemented in the parliament by the Greek government are in the process of implementation already. And we believe that there is still, of course, work to be done. But from the other side, we do not forget, and as I said before, that the Greek population has already done a lot of sacrifices. And for this reason, today in the Eurogroup, from the Greek side, we won't accept any new austerity measures to be on the table.
Final question for you, Lars, to build on that point that the Greek people have already made a lot of sacrifices, whether we're talking about the IMF, the Eurozone, the Germans, whoever, the Greek government, would you agree that the Greek people have been the ones to suffer throughout this entire process and have been the ones who have carried this burden?
Oh, absolutely. I have again and again on my blog, for example, and my latest blog post is actually called "The Continued Suffering of the Greek People." I think the euro is a monetary strangulation mechanism that is doing tremendous harm to the Greek economy, and the result is social and economic suffering of the Greek people. I can understand that the Greeks are angry. I can also understand that the taxpayers of Germany are angry. they have been put into this place where they have to bail out Greece again and again and again. Not because of lack of efforts on the Greek government's part or the Greek population, but because of a monetary mechanism that simply do not work. And that's why I think we need to address this very fundamental issue. And yes, it will not be easy. There is no easy solution for Greece. Unfortunately, Greece is in the euro. Greece should never have been in the euro. But we cannot keep on postponing this. We are entering the 9th year of depression in the Greek economy. It is horrendous and it has to end.
Okay, Lars Christensen and Yorgos Karatsiobanis, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us.